The sun had just started to rise over Willow Creek Estates, a picture-perfect suburban neighborhood where every mailbox matched. Lawns were trimmed within an inch of their lives, and the HOA president treated her title like a throne. Her name was Lillian Prescott. Sharp suits, sharper tongue, and a reputation for controlling everything and everyone around her. But on this particular Saturday morning, something shattered her peace. A sound, low, mechanical, defiant, a tractor engine. The rumble echoed down the manicured streets, bouncing off the neat white fences and pristine flower beds. At the center of it all was Harold Hal Johnson, a 48-year-old black man with callous hands, calm eyes, and a posture that carried both discipline and pride. He wasn't just mowing his yard. He was leveling a patch of uneven soil near the driveway. His orange tractor gleamed under the Texas sun, moving with precision. To Hal, this was peace. To Lillian Prescott, this was war. From her bay window, she sipped her morning tea and glared. "Unbelievable," she muttered. "A tractor in Willow Creek Estates? Not on my watch." Within minutes, her fingers were flying across her keyboard. Email subject, violation of HOA Code 14B. Message: Dear Mr. Johnson, your tractor constitutes a violation under HOA regulations. Remove it immediately or face daily fines of $500. She hit send with a satisfied smile. In her mind, the matter was closed. But she had no idea this was just the beginning. Hal read the email later that morning, sitting at his kitchen table with his wife, Monica, and their teenage son, Caleb. He laughed quietly. $500 a day for a tractor? On my property? Monica frowned. She really has nothing better to do, huh? Hal shook his head. You'd think keeping this neighborhood clean gives her purpose. Caleb smirked. You gonna move it? Hal smiled. Nope. I'll handle it the right way. He wasn't a man who picked fights, but he also wasn't a man who backed down. What the HOA didn't know was that Hal Johnson wasn't just a homeowner. He was the owner of Johnson's Towing and Recovery, the largest towing and transport company in the entire county. His trucks moved everything from broken-down cars to overturned 18-wheelers. He even had government contracts. He'd built the company from scratch, working double shifts, sleeping in his truck, learning every bolt and gear himself. He earned everything he had. The tractor? That was a gift to himself, a reminder of how far he'd come. A few days passed quietly, until one afternoon, Monica looked out the window and froze. Hal, she's back. Lillian stood at the edge of their driveway, holding a clipboard, snapping photos of the tractor from every angle. Hal sighed. She's documenting it now. Fine. He walked outside calmly. Morning, Mrs. Prescott. She didn't look up. You're in violation. This is your second notice. Hal nodded. I saw your email. It's my tractor. I use it for my property. It's not commercial equipment. Lillian sneered. We'll let the HOA decide that. Hal smiled politely. You do that. Have a good day. He turned and walked away, which only made her angrier. That night, another letter appeared on his door, in red bold print. Final warning. Tractor will be removed at owner's expense. You have 24 hours. Monica read it and sighed. She's not going to stop, Hal. Hal smiled faintly. Then maybe it's time she learns who she's dealing with. He made one phone call before going to bed. Just one. Saturday morning. 7:15 a.m. The faint roar of a tow truck engine echoed down the street. Hal stepped outside just as the truck rolled up, a massive, bright red wrecker with Johnson's Towing and Recovery painted across the side. Behind it, Lillian Prescott. Clipboard. Sunglasses. That same smug expression. The neighbors were already watching, peeking through blinds, holding coffee mugs, recording on their phones. The driver hopped out, confused. We got a call about towing a tractor? Lillian snapped. Yes, that one. Right there. It's violating HOA code. Remove it immediately. Hal raised an eyebrow, then smiled. Morning, folks, he said calmly, walking down his driveway. Everything all right? The driver scratched his head. You the homeowner? Yes, sir. Sorry, man. HOA said you're violating policy. I don't want no trouble. Hal chuckled. No trouble at all. Who sent you out? The driver pulled a paper from his pocket. Dispatch from Johnson's Towing and Recovery. The crowd went silent. Hal's smile widened. Johnson's Towing, huh? Yeah. Why? Hal reached into his pocket, pulled out his ID badge, and held it up. Because, son, you work for me. The driver blinked, stunned. Wait, you're Mr. Johnson? The boss. Hal nodded slowly. That's right. Lillian frowned. What is this nonsense? Hal turned to her. You call my company to tow my tractor off my own property. The driver stepped back. Oh, no. Oh, no. I'm not touching that tractor. Not today. Lillian stammered. You can't do this. You're violating neighborhood rules. Hal raised a hand. The only one violating anything right now is you. This is private property. You don't have the right to order anyone here. And by the way, Mrs. Prescott, that tow truck you called? I pay for its insurance, its fuel, and its driver's paycheck. The crowd murmured. Phones were rolling. Lillian's face turned red. This is harassment. Hal smiled. No, ma'am. This is called consequences. The driver looked at Lillian. Ma'am, I'm leaving before I lose my job. He climbed back into the truck, started the engine, and drove off. The neighbors burst into laughter, whispers rippling through the crowd. That video, because of course someone recorded it, hit Facebook by that evening. By morning, it was everywhere. HOA Karen tries to tow black man's tractor. Finds out he owns a company. Hundreds of thousands of views. Local news. Even the county sheriff commented with a laughing emoji. By Tuesday, the HOA board called an emergency meeting. Lillian Prescott didn't show up. A week later, she quietly resigned. And for the first time in Willow Creek history, a new president was elected unanimously, Hal Johnson. Months later, the neighborhood looked different. Not physically, but in spirit. People waved more. They talked. They shared tools and helped each other. Even the HOA meetings turned into cookouts. Hal didn't change the rules. He changed the tone. Because power isn't about control. It's about respect. And one quiet morning, as he parked his tractor in the driveway, an elderly neighbor walked up, smiling. Mr. Johnson, she said, I'll never forget the day that woman tried to tow your tractor. Hal laughed softly. Yeah, neither will she. They both smiled. The sound of the tractor roared back to life. Deep, steady, unbothered. Not a sound of rebellion, but of freedom. Because in a world that tries to pull you down, sometimes you've got to remind them, you can't tow away what you don't own. When people try to strip you of your dignity, don't lower yourself. Rise higher. The truth has a way of speaking louder than any engine, and justice always finds the ones who think they own power.